you, dear listener? We're delighted to bring you the Friday edition of Perspectives, a current affairs discussion program on Ageto Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi, which is set with you to unfold a constant hope will be here with us. Every year is this United Nations International happening to host of women. It is also called to quality, encouraging reflection, advocacy, action to continue to break and gears around the globe. Women's Day. This is our challenge is coming. These are the issues that we form the basis of our discussion. Respect on the person who is seated in the studio. Analyst, the National Legal Advisor of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Anna, and passionate advocate about women. We have to respect. We also is community links and a civil society personality for Helen Tete, who is on our way to join us, and soon here to anticipating the former vice of President Mka Professor of the program broadcast from now to 8 a.m. and at 10 o'clock we'll like to have this phone or send a message to contribute. We'll take a break, begin our engagement. Thank you very much for being there, dear listener. And also, would like to remind you, Perspective is streaming live on all our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. Right, Sasso, let's begin the conversation. Today is International Women's Day. Can you share with us your thoughts about what it means to celebrate women today, International Women's Day?
Once again, to International Women's Day is a day set aside by the United Nations to celebrate the achievements of women and also to advocate women. This started as a movement way back in 1900 in the United States of America. Some women rose up one day, took to the streets of New York, advocating for their voting rights, better pay, and better hours for women who were working. It started like a joke, and in 1910, in Denmark, across several countries, and that was it in 1910 that gave birth to today. The day is set aside. Women face discrimination at home, in the workplace, in school, and wherever they are. And growth and full at women in general. And the nations deemed it to set aside this very day. women globally are facing one form of discrimination. And this is like this. The world is sensitized that women need to in their rightful place in the society. They are equal partners in progress. They are equal partners in the workplace. They are equal partners. The rights of the women, men, the women should also be enjoyed them. That is the celebration.
Okay. When you say women face a lot of challenges and issues of discrimination on a global scale, let's look at Nigeria. What is the experience of women in Nigeria with regards to some of the issues you have outlined?
The concept of Nigeria, particularly chapter chapter talks about right to freedom of nation. That particular section prohibits any form of gender-based discrimination. Has been ratified and is contained in African Charter on Human and People's Rights. There should be no form of discrimination on gender, religion, or whatnot. Practice. What do we face? What do we face? What do we see? In practice, what do we this most of these provisions, constitutional provision is observed much in the breach because women and you want a simple example. If a woman is enlisted into the Nigerian police force, based on the regulations, she is not supposed to get married within 3 years. That is supposed to stay in the force more than 3 years before she can get married. And if she wants to get married, she's supposed to bring the prospective husband to the authorities. The husband has to be investigated, his background, by some background checks ought to be done on him before the police lady is given a clean bill of health to go ahead and marry. The same thing is not applicable to her male counterparts in the force. So these are some of the things that we still face in this country. Well, I spoke to one of my colleagues yesterday, and he told me that a lady was bold enough to challenge that particular regulation, and has been a judicial pronouncement against it. But in operation, it is still there in the code of conduct for newly recruited police ladies. So these are some of the things that why should you? And because of this, some ladies have lost their prospective husbands. Somebody is recruited, is not supposed to get married within 3 years. Some men will not be patient enough to wait for 3 years to pass before they will eventually, and a lot of other issues are happening. So let me just stop at that so that you can.
Okay, we'll go along. We'll interrogate some of the concerns much later too. Dear listener, we have now been joined here in the studio by our discussant, another discussant of ours on the program who is with us, the Executive Director, Community Links and Human Empowerment Initiative, Dr. Helen Tete. She is a civil society person, and she's here in the studio with us as one of our discussants on this edition of the program, which we are discussing the International Women's Day, the contributions and the challenges of women in the society. Dr. Tete, welcome to Perspectives and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you so much. I apologize for being late.
Okay, we are glad you're finally here with us. Now, before you joined us, your co-discussant on the program, Barrister Mike Asso, had laid a background. And now that you are here with us, I will request you to give us your thoughts. Share with us what is your understanding of the celebration of the International Women's Day, which is being observed today across the world. Benue and Nigeria is also joining in that celebration.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on the program. Um, each time I think about the International Women's Day celebration that had now become a norm a yearly norm. My mind goes back to 1908, where the first international, where what led to what we're celebrating today happened. That was back there in America, where women protested because they were not carried along. Issues of payments came up, issues of them being treated, different from their male counterparts in the place of work, and they revolted. And that laid a background to why um, it became an issue to commemorate the International Women's Day. And over time, um, we've had Belgian conferences. We have um, different. My colleague from the law would remember issues that lead to policies being brought to table, and all of that, all to respond to the issue of equal rights, basically. So the woman have not been, society have not been too fair to the woman. Um, I don't know why, probably um, because of different factors. I don't know whether it's religion, cultural, but all of these have embedded into the norms of the civil norms of a woman. So all of these are foundations to which the commemoration of the International Women's Day had been celebrated over and over and over. The woman also is first a human being and also have rights, rights that should be equal to the men folks. That she is a female gender does not in any way makes her less a human, less to also enjoy what the man is enjoying. And sadly so, you will notice that even at birth, once she's been named a girl at birth, most people turn their back on her. Why? Because the expectation, especially in families where there have been high expectation of having a male child, and then the last third or fourth or fifth birth is now another woman. You notice that she's not celebrated as the other person. So just to summarize, just to put my thoughts together,
Yes.
it's just about equality. The woman also deserves to have equal rights on the table like the men folk.
In the course of your speaking on this, you mentioned the society has not been fair to women, and I was wondering in what specific areas would you point out that the society has not been fair to the women? If you're making us to believe that the society has not been fair to women.
Yeah, okay, so from the let's come from the cultural angle. You would notice, look at inheritance as an example. Most people culturally, coming from the from where we are from, the Middle Belt and then Benue, you'll notice that the male is made an heir rather than the woman. That's one example. Except for recently, I heard that the traditional council had are working towards a policy of having the female child also being an heir. But before the current Totif made that declaration, the the girl child was disadvantaged when it came to inheritance. Once it comes to um, uh, issue of schooling, you will notice that there's a high rate of dropout when it comes to education to around the female child than the male. At some point, and God help her if the reason of her dropping is as a result of early pregnancy or unwanted pregnancy. For most, that's the end of her education. She ends up either as a core farmer without exposure, or her education ends at the point where she got pregnant. And it's always her fault and not the person that got her impregnated. So it's from this background that I'm talking about being fair. Of course, there are exceptional cases where other families have looked up to their girl child and have supported the girl child and supported the woman, either as wives or sisters and all that. However, looking at data, those that are disadvantaged are higher than the ones that are advantaged.
Okay, Bryce Hassel, do you share in this same line of thoughts with her that the society is not fair to women in most cases, as she mentioned?
Perfectly. The society is not fair to women in most aspects, just like she has highlighted. And we must commend the United Nations for taking deliberate steps to project and advance the rights of women. I'm a he for she champion, so when I'm talking, I have to bring in that perspective too.
Okay,
That's
he
why the
for
UN
she.
resolution
Yes.
1325 talks about when we are talking about women, peace and security, women must be involved. And as you speak, just like she has mentioned at the cultural, at the family level, most women are not carried along in family decision making. They're not. You discover that the male child of a woman will be part of the family. When serious family decisions are to be made, the mother will not be allowed to sit there because she's a woman. What about political participation? Have we ever had a female president in Nigeria? Is it because they are not qualified or what? What about the female governor? Have we ever had one in Nigeria? For now, we're having some in other countries, but what about Nigeria, where we are? What about the women participation in the legislature? How many do you have in the National Assembly? How many women do you have in the Senate? How many do you have in the State House of Assembly? It is because the men have closed the space that made things very difficult for the women to aspire to those positions. It's not as if we don't have capable women who can. If you give my friend Dr. Tete, the governor of Benue State, she will do very well.
Oh yeah.
She will, even the president of Nigeria, she
Thank
will
you
do very
so
well.
much.
How will she get there?
Right.
There are so many barriers that they will have to encounter. A lot of hurdles. Some of them are very invisible. The men will start in a very subtle way. Well, for example, political parties we are selling forms to men, we are giving forms free of charge to women. It's like an inducement. That is true. It's a facade to make you look as if we are carrying them along. Okay, get a free form and go to nomination. How many votes will you get?
Yeah.
Because they will raise the stakes in such a way that, because men have been in the positions of power consistently for long. They have been able to accumulate resources in such a way that they can always buy their way through.
Yeah.
So there are so many invisible barriers that the women face. And as you also pointed out, just before down, a lot of families did not view girl child education as a necessity. That a child be given out in marriage so that her male counterparts will be trained. Go to the streets, most of the hawkers that you see are mostly 90% of them are women, like young girls. What about the boys? The young girls are hawking to go and help pay school fees of their male brothers who are in school. So these are the things and it starts from that level, from the family level. Once you start, the best way to progress in a nation is to train education. So from the foundational level, if the girl child is not given the right education at the early stage, it affects her subsequently in life. Already, her male counterparts in the family have an upper hand right from the beginning. And she starts looking at herself as less a human being. It's because of the efforts, the agitations, the advocacy we are making, and you people are making, she's also making through her organization, that most women have realized their worth, their self-worth, their self-value. If not, it has been a very hopeless situation. But we thank God that there's awareness, and we believe that with time, we the men should accord the women their rightful place. Because whether you like it or not, we are all products of, we are all given birth to by women. And we're also married to women. We have daughters. So why is it difficult for us to open up the space for women to be actively involved in most of these things? We don't have anywhere a woman chief anywhere in Nigeria. I know of some societies elevate women, queens, and whatever. But basically, we don't have women sitting on the chieftaincies too. These are things that we have to look at. Thank you very much.
Okay, dear listener, in case you just tuned in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM Makudi. We are discussing the International Women's Day 2024 as being observed today, designated by the United Nations. And we are focusing on the contributions of women in the society, the challenges they face, and how they can be overcome. We have been joined here in the studio by the Executive Director of Community Links and Human Empowerment Initiative, a civil society person in Benue State, Dr. Helen Tete. She is here with us. We also have the National Legal Advisor of the Association of Nigerian Authors, a passionate advocate for women issues, Barrister Mike Aso is here with us as well. They are the ones leading us in the discussion, and these are the numbers through which you can reach us. The program is as is airing now at 10 o'clock. We open the line for you to phone in. That line through which you can call to make contributions on the program is 081-433-59292. That line will be opened at 10 o'clock. And the line for calls, the line for text message and WhatsApp is already activated. The line is 09126 09126 You may contribute through text message or a WhatsApp chat using that line. Remember to include your name and the location you are sending the message from. Let's also remind you that the program is streaming live on all our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. Kindly search at Agate Radio on Facebook and follow the live stream conversation. You may drop your comments on that link as or questions if you have them. If they're related to the subject matter, we'll definitely take it as your contribution. Dr. Tete, let me come to you now. Let's look at the theme for the International Women's Day this year, which is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. What does it entail?
When I saw that theme, first I was excited because nothing can describe all the women have been doing all her life better than the team this year. Little investment in any woman shows forth. You'd see that there's progress, there's acceleration, that you see progress accelerating around the family of that woman. Now, a woman, I think the team clearly states that a woman is good business. If you invest in her, you're not going to lose out at any point. She's a good business to invest in. Is it educationally? She will stand out. Is it in terms of skills? She would deliver. And as I speak, different issues come to play. Let's take politically, for example. A woman had never been at the driving seat. But just when you bring them on board, you just try to show them that they have little role. You notice that they place people on top. Women vote more. They accept, they support more politically just because they've been given a chance to vote using their voters' card, in as much as they may not have resources to pay through and stand as governors or presidents, of the country. Number two, educationally, if a mother is educated, you would notice that she would pay the price to make sure that at least minimally her children also go to school. Now, little investment traditionally that we make in women. Let me also make reference to Benue, for example. During Christmas periods, who brings the food for the family? She's married and gone to her husband's house, but she's so conscious that her father, her mother, back there in her family house also had that bag of rice or chicken to eat. And in case the father or mother dies, who buries her? Traditionally, is the girl child. You know, so imagine that the father of that girl invested much more in her while growing up. I'm sure the father will ride the best car at his older age. Why? Because she was good investment. So, talking from very simple examples, I think the theme of this year encourages every family, encourages the state, encourages society at every level to see that investing in women is not a loss. Investing in women is big gain at the family level and at the societal level.
Okay, Bryce Sasso, looking at this theme, would you say Nigeria and Benue in particular is investing in the women folk enough?
Well, before I get to the question proper, let me
Yes.
just talk about the theme. The theme is very apt.
All right.
Just like she has said it, investment in women takes so many forms. You know, when you hear investment, people look at the monetary aspect of it, but when we're talking about it's deeper than that.
Money.
That money is deeper than monetary investment. You invest in the girl child by giving her quality education, and when you invest in her by giving her quality education, she's also going to put forward quality children, because a woman is the one that gives birth to children, and for the very first few years, the children, most of the things, the skills, the language, and whatever, they get it from the mother. So if we want the world and the society, you have to invest in the training, education, skill acquisition of the girl child. And when the girl child now grows into a woman, you open up the political space for her to be part of decision making. If women are actively involved in decision making, most of the discriminatory practice against women will be curtailed, because they will be on the table where decisions that affect them are being taken, and they'll be very vocal. It is because they're not always at the table where decisions are made that their rights are not well protected, not minding their numerical strength, because we have more women in the country than we have the men. Well, coming to the issue as to whether Nigeria and Benue State is investing in women, yes, there is a lot of investment has been done in women, because particularly in Benue State, most societies encourage their children, their girl child to go to school. They are given the rights to go to school, and they're also encouraged to be actively involved in decision making, to participate in politics. Before, some husbands will not want their support their wives to venture out in critical or challenging aspects of human endeavor, but that is no longer the position. Apart from encourage them to go to school and do other things, the women are also allowed to contest for elective offices, and that is why you see some of them being appointed as commissioners, some as elected into legislative offices, and a whole lot of other engagements. So, even though we are not yet to where we ought to be, we have not gotten to that position where we can say with some form of confidence that, as far as Benue State is concerned, we have invested in our women, and I'm happy that we can see that example right in the studio. Our mother, a celebrated scholar who just joined us, was the vice chancellor of University of Ghana. That is what women investment can bring on the table for us. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So,
okay, Dr. Tete, you want to say
yeah,
something
I
very
just
quickly?
quickly saw something, data that is out there,
Yes.
that one in every 10 women live in extreme poverty, and that excuse me, that the number of women and girls living in the conflict affected areas has doubled since 2017, meaning that 7.7% of women are likely to live in extreme poverty very soon. And climate change is set to leave 236 million more women and girls hungry by 2030. So I think it's a wake up call. The theme of this year is more like a wake up call. If you don't invest in women, that will crash very soon. And investing in women, it would be a good strategy to make sure that we don't hit that crash by 2030. I just needed to add that up to his submission.
Okay, thank you very much for adding to that. And at this moment, we have been joined here in the studio by another discussant who we're looking forward to have her join us. And Dr. Barrister so actually the opportunity of introducing her even before I
No, not really. I was just excited seeing
very well.
my
I'd like to
mommy.
welcome here the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Mka. And if we talk about National Women's Day as we celebrate, thank you very much, Prof, for joining us on
Very much.
a happy International Women's Day. Especially in educational space. We just talked about this year, which is invest in women, accelerate progress. Are there gains we can have made in this area?
Very much. And good morning, fellow discussants.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Nice to be here with you. Um, we're talking one year. They ought to be celebrated every day because we make it happen. Women make it happen everywhere, whether we agree or not. And I take my boldness from the scriptures, from God who created the woman. And he said, it was not good for a man to be alone, so he will give him a wife, a helpmeet. And men can testify that God did a good thing. God himself looked at it, and it was the very first time he said it was very good. The other times he said about his creation, it was good. But by the time he created woman and gave to man, he said it was very good. So I like to say that investing in the woman is a key thing. But sometimes society thinks she is doing us a favor by investing or trying to improve the lot of women. But you see, a woman that is educated, for instance, stands a better chance of taking better care of her family than the one that is not invested into. I take educating a woman as an investment. That's from where I'm coming. And so we see that the woman who is educated tends to look at things differently and more progressively than that woman who is good, who is an asset but is not educated. So investing in the woman is a plan to create a better society. Better society in the sense that if you find a woman who is educated, and of course knows her role in creation and in society, but this is very important. She needs to know her role. If she is educated and knows her role, then she stops at nothing in getting the children God has entrusted in her hands to be taken good care of, stops at nothing at taking care of the husband that God has given to her. And when these are put together, you have a society that is progressive, because when the children are well directed, they are forward looking. They are forward looking. And when the husband is taken care of, he is also forward looking and does not have the mind to stop the progress of this woman that is entrusted in his care. I think investing in the woman is trying to have a high quality society. That's what I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue, please,
Okay.
if you want to.
My own disappointment is in our young girls that will soon become women, that seem not to be forward looking again and seem not to encourage us. But I don't know where to place this blame. Is it on us? Is it our generation that has not really given them meaning, or what? But I find that as you try to encourage these children, these girls, they draw back, because education is key to development. And if a young girl is not keen on getting educated, the parents are discouraged, and very soon she is a dropout and nothing to write home about. So sometimes I think, and I say that our generation has not been kind to the coming generation, because those things that our parents helped us to do, are we helping these ones, to really see that this is what matters? Or we go pursuing other things, and we leave them to their whims and caprices. I don't know where to place this.
Mommy's talking like a mother. She's taking over the blame as a mother. But if I have to respond to that, um, yeah, I think I won't say it's a failure from your generation. Totally. I want to say there's actually a shift in societal values. What was deep then is no longer what matters. It's about money, making it fast, no issues, no values around patience, so people just want to, they call it hammer. You just want to hammer fast, ride the best of cars without knowing how to raise the money. It's societal values. There's been a shift, and it has affected this generation deeply. So I'll push it back to society and not just to our
Okay,
Let
mothers.
me
but
just
yes, Barrister. So did you
yes,
see it as also a societal values theme? Like, oh,
yes,
okay, you share a
but
different
I know
opinion.
I share
Yes.
I think I go with our mother Prof more, because it's not as if there's parental failure. That's why I want to agree on. There's also a shift in values too. But the main thing is, when we were growing up, the our parents there was the parents used to have time for their children, and they used to check, like, if they see you wearing a shirt that
That they
they
didn't
did
buy.
not buy for you, they will ask you, where did you get it?
Mm-hmm.
Do we even have time now to see what our children wear? You wake up very early in the morning, you go out, you come back in the night. Sometimes they are asleep, you don't even see them the next day because you are busy pursuing. When our parents gave us time, they checked us, they monitored us, they asked, even when you start working, you have money, your salary is supposed to, why did you get money to buy this luxurious item you are carrying? So we have shifted. That is why there's also a value shift. We want to live an ostentatious life without caring to know the effects on the society generally. And I believe it's a shared responsibility. The society and the family still have to share the blame. So it's a balanced thing. And the question is, what then is the way forward?
Okay, and that I'm back to you, Prof. Let's look at growing up in your days, like you mentioned. What actually has changed significantly with regards to the woman of yesterday and the woman of our contemporary society?
Thank you very much. Growing up in my time, God blessed me with parents that knew the value of training a female child. And so my father sent me to school, and he would, like he has said, he would sit with us and let us know that going to school was the in thing. He would tell us things like, if you don't go to school, if you don't get educated, you will be somebody's slave.
Mm.
You will be somebody's slave. And he used to be, he had a big orchard. And he would tell us things like, if you don't want to go to school, you will come and sit down and work in the orchard. And we knew that just spending holiday with him, the work was almost too much for us. So if you didn't go to school, you come and sit down. So he used every means to encourage us to go to school. And I am so thankful to him that he trained me, a female child. And like he said, if our parents saw that we were doing things they didn't teach us, or having things that they didn't give us, even pencil, they will want to find out, did you take a child's pencil in school? You know, and those things made us fear, and so we did not want to engage in such things that we truncate our education and our destiny, you know. So today, it looks like we have little time, even for our own biological children, not to talk of others whom we are helping as wards. Sometimes we don't even give those ones attention, and they go doing things that we certainly truncate their destiny. So I think we have said it all. We are not giving our children enough time. We are not giving them enough time, and our daughters, particularly, today is our day. The shift in values that my sister talked about. What is it? I had a meeting with the ones in my house a few days back. What are you doing on Facebook? What are you doing on Facebook? In the first instance, that one, his uncle gave him a phone. I had seized it before, but, give it back to her, because sometimes when I'm out of the house, I call her. But what are you doing on Facebook? You snap yourself, you post on Facebook. You do this, you do this. And sometimes I play videos of girls who have been killed, by their boyfriends who have done this and this. But I'm not sure it's making any sense. That's my worry. Because if it's making any sense, they will stop and think about it and desist. So, I really wonder where this generation wants to be. But it's a deep cry. It's a deep cry. Because if we do not check this, then society herself will be run down. Because whether we like it or not, the influence of the woman in the home and in the society is massive. It's massive. So, he said, what we need to look at now is a way forward. What are we going to do? I think you people in the media have a big role to play. When you invite us to discussions like this, and you let the people hear what things we are saying, and you do advocacy meetings, let the people, let the female child know that she is valuable. She is very valuable, and she should treat her life as a valuable thing, because she has great influence on when she becomes a woman like we are here, influence on the husband, influence on her children, influence on society.
The last edition of this program on Wednesday, we were even talking about public pressure on political office holders and corruption. And the general impression was that even some political office holders are pushed into corruption by their spouses who make demands. So when you talked about massive influence even on the husbands, I was just thinking along that line, could it be a reflection of what is obtainable even in our leadership circles?
Yeah, the issue of corruption.
Yes. With regards to the influence of women on leadership too, when you mentioned that.
Yeah, sometimes I feel that our society does not give the woman a fair chance in leadership. The woman is not given a fair chance, but many times than not, when she is given a fair chance, she does a good job. Now, the influence on the man may be positive, may be negative, depending on who that woman is. And this is why I say that I take my bearing from the Bible, because the Bible says that a virtuous woman is a blessing to her husband. But the woman that is not virtuous, is not seasoned, is like rottenness in his bones. So if a man happens to need a knot with a woman that is not virtuous, then the influence will be negative. But the virtuous woman will have positive influence on the husband. Now, that notwithstanding, the men themselves, they have the minds of their own. They want to be who they are not. So that sometimes even their wives try to discourage them from certain things, they cannot. They go hiding such behavior. So as much as I say, and I stand by it, that the woman has massive influence, the men have the mind of their own too. So they can be corrupt in politics. And of course, you know that in politics, you people don't give us opportunity.
We'll come to that. We'll definitely review that. It's about let's engage with those who are listening to us because we have already gone into the time that we should start engaging with them. Dear listener, in case you just tuned in, you are listening to Perspectives on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM Makudi. We are discussing the International Women's Day, which is being observed today as declared by the United Nations for March 8 every year. And leading us in the discussion here in the studio, we have the former Vice Chancellor of the University of Mka, Professor Nancy Agbe. We also have the Executive Director, Community Links and Human Empowerment Initiative, Dr. Helen Tete, as well as the National Legal Advisor of the Association of Nigerian Authors and a women advocate, he for she champion, Barrister Mike Asso. They are leading us in the discussion. Now, you can also make your voice heard by calling us on 081-433-59292. The line for calls is 081-433-59292. Once you connect with us, tell us your name and where you are calling from. Then make your submission. Keep it very brief so others can also engage with us. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I am Mondachi Gabriel from Ojakpa, Madoka.
Adoka, Tukpo, I suppose.
Madoka of the local government area.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ondachi, for joining us.
Thank you. And in fact, my regards to the guests in the house, they have said everything that we have in mind. They have said it all, only to support them on what they have said. Like in the past, not every woman is respected. This time now, the world is opening the eyes concerning what is happening now. Let them promote our girl child. Let them promote our women to equalize them with men, so that we can know everything just like God has created us to. He didn't say this one is superior and this one is not superior. As God has created all of us, let us also recreate ourselves and equalize ourselves so that the women can have chance in our society. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ondachi Gabriel, for your contribution. Equality, the women should be equalized, should be made equal. That is Ondachi Gabriel's submission. Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to
and good morning to all the guests in the house, most especially to my mommy who just said all.
Okay.
My advice.
Let's know your name before we hear your advice.
Sorry. My name is Vincent Ake from International Market here in Makodi.
Okay, Vincent Ake, thank you for joining us. Now go ahead.
Yes, sir. First, there is a saying that behind every successful man, there is a woman. Secondly, there's this saying that always triggers my heart that never said you are lucky until you are married. That is to show you how important a woman is in the life of every man and to the whole world entirely. So I agreed with what my mommy said, most especially. Every home, if you see, in every home that a child grew up, for well, very sound, it's because the mother is there. Go and check the mother. You see that she's hard working.
Hello, Vincent? Hello? Hello, Vincent? Vincent, your line is breaking. Can you change your position so we'll hear you better?
My advice is our ladies shouldn't allow the devil to use them because as they are women, we've shifted everything to them that make us progressive. And the devil find that they are the weak ones that always use them. That is why you see most of the ladies acting like this. But they should say no to the devil, and definitely our women are going to make us proud as they have been doing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Vincent, for your contribution and advice. We appreciate you. The ladies, I don't know what you mean by this. You're not allow the devil to use them, but that's okay. We have heard your opinion. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. This is David.
David who?
David Nitame. I'm calling from Banada Quarters.
Okay, thank you, David Nitame. Banada Quarters in Makudi, right? I suppose.
In Makudi.
Okay. Thank you, David, for joining us.
You're welcome, sir. Yes, concerning this theme, invest in women. Investing in women, I think it's not all about sending your girl child to school and taking other responsibilities. But I think the most important thing is to once in a while check on your child who is in school. I live where students live and I know what's going on. Some of these girls, they live with their boyfriends in their rooms and you know what they do. So once in a while, as a parent, try to check on your children in school, especially the girls, because these girls, what they do in school, is they take this freedom for granted. When you send them to school, try to monitor them, know what they do, know where they live, especially. You can give them an uninformed visit. That is all I have to say about the girls in our societies today. Thank you.
Okay, Vincent. David, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. We appreciate you. That women, anyway, we think the issue is not really with just the girls alone. Maybe as we go along, we also try to see how we link this to the boy child as well, because even though it's international. Hello, good morning.
Hello, this is Adabaka. Nat, I greet you
We greet.
and all in the studio. Professor, barrister, and the young NGO young lady, Tete, right? I'm not very sure who is there, but all said and done. I must go back to the Garden of Eden because that is the beginning. I am not complaining at all. I'm a man. My father, Adam, was the one that apparently made it necessary for.
Is it that
So-
your father?
So let me just, my credit seems to be running out. So let me just say that we just need to continue to, because society generally is depreciating in values and the all kinds of distractions. The capitalists of society are providing so many things that football, handset, all manner of things that will make money for them, but they do not take the human impact. They normally say environmental impact. The human impact is very, it concerns them very little. So day in and day out, this is happening that the money makers are making money, running to the bank, smiling and competing on whether they are the Bill Gates or this, that, but the society is becoming hellwire. Drugs, name it. Go to church, you see people watching video things of sexual immorality inside the church. They are looking at the Blessed Virgin Mary. They forget that is the mother of God.
Oh, Edabakan, thank you very much. Just as you said, your airtime was running out. In any case, you have made your point, and we appreciate you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you.
Thank you very much. My name is George. I'm calling from Adoka.
Okay, George, who, please?
George Onakwa.
George Onakpa.
Yes,
Okay, Adoka in Otupo.
exactly.
Okay, George, thank you for joining us on the program. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you very much. Well, the topic that we are discussing is very important because it's what is really happening in our society now. If drastic action is not taken, things will get out of hand. And what I mean by drastic action, based on we, the parents, we need to caution our children and also admonish them with the word of God. And another thing which I will also want to highlight is the attitudinal change of our girl child. In as much as we, the parents, play our role, the children or our daughter, they should also adhere to the advice that we parents give them. Because there is a saying that what an elder see while sitting, even you climb on top of an iroko tree as a child, you will not be able to see it. So we teach our children out of wisdom. We teach them out of experience. But they don't learn. That is the problem we are having today. And that has become a menace in our society. You go out on the street as I'm talking to you. You see a girl dressed naked walking on the street is a problem. And when is all this thing coming from? There is no shame. There is no respect for human value anymore. So I would have want to advise in this program that our children, as much as we take time to teach them and caution them the right way to go, especially with the word of God, they should listen and adhere so that it will be better for them and the society at large.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Thank you very much for your thoughts. We appreciate you. Where are the women? We hope the women are listening to. They should call us, share your challenges with us, celebrate yourself. This is a platform where it's not just about the negatives about women. Let's also have something positive to celebrate about our women. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. This sounds like the first female caller we've been expecting. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. My name is Dosu Afe. I'm calling from Georgia Kumeri.
Your name is who?
Dosu Afea.
Dose Affair.
Dosu.
Okay, Dosu Affair, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you, Dosu. Please
I'm
go
calling
ahead.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma, you made mention of what deviation in terms of what moral values, and today being that International Women's Day, what is the government doing to enhance what the women in the society? Because at the end of the day, you said we have lack of zeal in going to school. But to be really honest, the time in which you guys went to school and in the generation where you guys lived that time, things were easy going. But right now, okay, we want to go to school. The university is on strike. And then at the end of the day, we have that discouragement that, okay, even though we go to this school, we will not find jobs and all the rest. And then we'll feel like, okay, let's just look for businesses or find elsewhere because the society itself is not willing to help us. So what is the government? What is the society? And what is the government and the society doing to enhance the modern women of this generation? That's my question.
Thank you, Dosu. We'll respond to your question shortly. Thank you very much. Thank you for calling in. That's the first female caller. We expect more women to call us. Share your challenges with us. We are here for you. Today is your day. Celebrate yourself. Prof, let me request you to address this question shortly before we go on. Dosu Affair is asking us, what is the government and the society doing to enhance the prospects of women with regards to acquiring modern education? You listen to her.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Dosu, good morning. Thank you for your question. I'd like to say that every generation has their opportunities. They have their challenges and they have their opportunities. The opportunities that you guys have now, we didn't have that time. There are some courses that you are doing in the university now that even if you leave school, you will be meaningful to yourself and help others that we didn't have the opportunity to have them. When I went to school, there was nothing like computer, but you have now. And if you give yourself, even if you are not studying computer science, and you decide that you will take lessons in computer, so that when you graduate and there's no job, you can open your cyber shop and give service and earn money. We didn't have that opportunity. I also want to say that even though the strikes this time are more insistent than before, we also faced strikes. And we went to school very far away from home. And so if there was a strike, you were almost stranded. I went to University of Ife, and I remember that there used to be strike. There was one strike that threatened our lives, but we got back again. It was even in my final year, and we will cry, Ali must go, Ali must go. But he didn't go. Many of us went. We still got back to school and settled down. I agree with you that because of population explosion, jobs are less now than before. But there are more opportunities to make meaning in life now than before. Before, if government didn't employ you, you will really be stranded. But today, if government doesn't employ you, you will not be stranded if you are determined to make it in life, to attain your destiny. So mine is to encourage you and the girl children out there that you should not just look at government. How many jobs will government give? It's because of population explosion. In fact, the population doctor is here. She may even have better statistics than me. The population of young people in Nigeria, that group of people that is more than the population of the aged. So there's really fire on the mountain, and you must be determined to find meaning in life by yourself, and there are opportunities if you would dare.
All right. Those who I hope you have listened and you are encouraged. Barrister Aso, is there something you would like to add to this briefly before we engage with more people?
Well, Prof has said it a little bit. Honestly speaking, the current generation is blessed because with advancement in ICT, they have a lot of, you have Google Classroom, you can learn. There are so many things that you just, once a course is introduced in class, you can download some of this literature and you read them on your own. But as Prof asked earlier, what most of them do with that opportunity is what is the real issue. You see them on phone almost 24 hours. What are they doing? What sites are they visiting? You discover that if you go through some of their search history, you see the type of literature they are consuming and you will be marveled. So the usage of the opportunities they have now is what is the real challenge. Then, no communication. You can be schooling in Ife and you can call in your home almost every day to know what is happening. She did not have that luxury then. So, and because of advancement in communication, there was a whole lot of opportunities that been opened up. So it's not hopeless. The picture is not as bleak as she's thinking. The government is also doing its own bit, opening the space, introducing courses that will make a student to be self-reliant after graduation. Those courses were not there from the beginning. All we need to do is to grab the opportunity. And there's a whole lot of private sector engagements going on these days. In fact, the organized private sector even pay better than the government. All you need to do is to get the right skills that are required.
Okay. Dr. Chete, I'll come to you shortly, please. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, welcome to the program.
I love to celebrate the women today.
Yes, we
celebrate
celebrate.
my mother, my sister, my uncle, all the women.
We celebrate you too. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes. My name is Sunday Omerenyi, calling you from VSU.
Okay, Sunday Mirenyi. Thank you. Please go ahead very briefly.
First of all, I'd like to ask a question. If the woman is there anchoring the program, for you to answer me. One, we train the women, our girls, our daughters. When we train them, after they come up, they go to social media and show us a lot of things, irrelevant things. Is it bad that we are training them because I know that a lot of people now, like myself, I know my daughter is not doing that, but a lot of people train their daughters. But when they come to educate, after their education, they're going to one artist or the other, say they are performing one artist or the other, then they show us all those kind of things. I know that the mother in the studio might be in the media, and he has been in one social media or the other. I can see what the women are showing us. Why is it different from the men's side? So again, I want to say, actually, it's good to develop women, because most of them, they are. I told women are the manager in the home. If any woman that manage home very well, that home becomes very good and it's a happy home. But this is a lot of them, because of the interaction and mixed up with people. They give us negative aspect of the life. So I want to encourage, and I want to our mothers to do more, to speak to their daughters, so that their daughters can give us good input. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sandra Miringi, for your question and thoughts too. Oh, we appreciate you. Dr. Tete, you listen to Sandra Miringi. Let's address some of the concerns he raised. Then I will also request you to speak to us. You've been actively involved in the civil society space. What are the immediate challenges you encounter with women, especially young girls, in the civil society space where you actively operate?
Okay, so much has been said and so much on my mind to also say. Um, um, like mommy was saying, you're right. Data has it that 70% of the world population are under 30, and then 42% of the 70% are under 15 years of age. So we have a great crowd to battle with. And so I would say, like, just to nip that on the board, we say in the development world, it's about certificate, not certificate. Now, if the government would utilize your certificates, what do you know? What is your certificate? What can you use your hands to do as a youth out there? There are many opportunities. Your handset can either make you or ruin you. So it's your choice as a young person. There are business opportunities on them, and then there are opportunities to also ruin you. And peer influence is playing a lot, for our young people. So it's about collaborating with your mother's effort to make sure that you turn out to be a good person. Now, in the development circle, I remember that we interact with a lot of women, both at the grassroots level, at the state level, national level. The woman needs to be, and one of the things to face is the woman needs to be confident in herself. We'll notice that a lot would go to school and they still don't have confidence in themselves. Given opportunities, they will shy away from them rather than face them, and not just because she doesn't have capacity. Most do have capacity when they're called to do anything. Well, this issue of building self-confidence and standing up to those opportunities to explore them has been one challenge we face. And then at the discussions table, will you notice that we have more men than women?
We don't have that here today.
Oh no, yeah. You simply just broke the rule.
Okay.
But most times at the discussion or decision tables, either at the state level, politically, or at any, even religiously, you notice that except for the women group, at that table, you have more men than women. Not because, even at that, not because we can't be influential. We could if we know our right and what to do. So I guess my mind is more bored up. Those are some of the things we face out there. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Vice Hassel.
When she spoke about lack of self-confidence,
Yes.
it took me to the theme of today's
Day.
day.
Invest in women.
Yeah.
Accelerate progress.
If you don't do the right investment in women at the family level, they will certainly grow to lack self-confidence. When the boys are
engage with some more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Oh, we lost connection with the caller already. Prof, I am with you now. Let's look at the situation because women generally, some are not educated. What is the prospects of that woman at the grassroots, the woman in the rural area who is building the family, boosting the agricultural fortunes of the state? What stakes does such a woman have in advancing the fortunes of the society? And how can she be encouraged to keep moving on?
Yeah, I think Doctor made mention, she alluded to something like that. When you are working with these women at the grassroots, it's as if they can do nothing. And yet they have great potential. And I want to really appreciate the First Lady of Nigeria, who is looking at what women can do, whether you are educated or not. The issue of this garden, do you know about it? The garden.
Yes.
Yeah. You can be in the village
And yeah.
work on your garden
That's true.
and attract her attention. Now, but I am in my village and I am doing my best. How can I attract her attention when I'm in that remote place? This is where our government can come in. This is where our government can work to identify the women in the rural areas who are working. And of course, they work a lot. The women, the yams that they sell in my local government, majority of that work is done by women. But they are not acknowledged. Even I want to say, not every home, but even at the home level. Only very few husbands will say, okay, this category of yams, I'll leave 100 or 1,000 for my wife to do what she wants with it. You know, they do a lot of work. It is for us to encourage them by acknowledging what they are doing. If government has come up with a program to encourage farmers, even at the Benue State government, to encourage farmers. But how many women are taking part in this? The woman in the village doesn't have a bank account. She doesn't know what BVN is. She probably doesn't know what NIN is. And we insist that these things must be provided before they can be given input, farm input, or whatever assistance they have to be given. I don't know what government will do about it, but government has a role to play to encourage the women at the grassroots because they too have potentials. I want to say that when we were growing up, our mothers were not in the town, they were not educated, and yet they did what they did to bring us up. I remember that my father was a very strict man. They gave me a pair of sandals and I lost one leg. He refused to buy. It was my mother that bought me another pair of sandals. You know, so they were still there, but they made their contribution in our lives. They are still making contribution. There are some families that is the mother that is taking care of the training or training and education of children. Not that they are widows. No. So government has to identify these women. We have local governments. Government at the state level can engage the local governments to identify women that can be encouraged to beef up their contribution to nation building.
Okay, Barisaso, let me come to you now. Earlier on, we talked about political participation, which Mommy also alluded to. You alluded to the participation of women in politics too. Looking at the political configuration of Nigeria as it is, would you say women have actually participated or been given active recognition in the political space?
Well, before I go to that, I just want to let the world know that I was trained by my mother, even though my father was still alive.
Oh, wow.
She was not educated from her farming and petty trading. And she keep telling me that, hey, that is my son, go to school so that tomorrow you'll not beg for food. Tomorrow you'll not be a gate man on somebody's door. Tomorrow you'll not be opening doors for people. Go to school so that
That
people
does
open
not
doors
make
for
the
you
person
tomorrow.
opening the gate
I
less
understand,
human
but
anyway.
she was
Yeah.
trying to raise the stakes for
Okay,
me.
fine.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
she was trying to research. She wanted me to be, and to God the glory, she's no more, but I'm here sitting here today. If not because of the education, I wouldn't have been here.
Sure.
Rubbing shoulders with my mom, a very celebrated scholar, and Dr. So, the political space is closed against women. And that is a very serious matter for concern, because we need women in decision making to have a better society. After investing in their education, we need to also invest into them politically. How many, as I asked earlier, how many women do we have occupying sensitive positions? We have never had a female president in Nigeria, not to talk of being a governor of a single state. Some have managed to be deputy governors. We have a handful in the nation. I think we have just like of all the senators, we have only three senators in the National Assembly. Benue State House of Assembly, we have like 2 women, if my figures are right, out of the lot. And it's not as if they did not aspire. They indicated interest, but because of the way we the men have dominated the political arena, anytime they seek to come up, there is the one thing or another to suppress them. So we must be proactive. We must be proactive enough to bring our women on board. Yes, because it's only when we have women in decision making that most of these discriminatory practices against them will be curtailed, because they will be sitting right there, and they will also have a share in what is happening. So we understand sometimes when we shift the blame that women as many, they have the numerical strength, they come out to vote election days. Why is it that they cannot support themselves?
Which is what I was going to ask. Thank God you brought it up.
We ask those questions, but that is just like begging the question, because before a woman comes out before the vote, there must be a level playing field for a woman to also be on the platform of a political party. We don't have independent candidates in Nigeria yet. So the political parties did not open up the space enough for them to get the tickets in viable political parties where they are likely to win. So shifting the blame that the women are not supporting women is not true. The men have just closed the space, and we need to open it for women to come in and be part of decision making. Appointing 1 or 2 women as commissioners, special advisors, or ministers is still a far cry. There must be what we need in this country. There must be we need to put in place the legislation to make it work, that at least 45% should be open up to women to participate. Giving 45% should be open up for women. If they come up, you allow them to get. If they don't come up, you let it go.
Percent affirmative action on the
I'm talking like a he for she champion. So we can even make it 50-50.
Okay.
Because this issue of discrimination, I don't know where it even come from. From the story of creation, the man was first created, of course, and then the woman was brought in. So where do we have these discriminatory practices? Where are they even coming from? That we tend to look at the woman as less a human being or something. We have to change our mindset. That is the most important thing. And we have to start with our male children. You know, when we talk about training a
Yeah.
woman, investing in a woman, this woman you are investing is going to be married to a man. So what are you doing to the boy child? The investment has to be pari passu you, so that a good girl, good home trainer should also meet a well-groomed young man, so that they will raise a family and have a progressive society.
All right. Prof, let me come back to you before I'll come to Dr. Dete with regards to this issue of political participation. Looking at the situation, especially around us here in Benue State, are there some women figures in Benue we can point to with regards to the impact they have made politically before you
As to
the impact they may have made politically since the creation of Benue 48 years down the line? Yes.
But just like Barrister has said, women have not been given fair opportunity. But where they had opportunity to serve, they did well. I remember Honorable Keziah Agundu, who served as the local government chairman. She was held shoulder high by her people, literally, for what things she did that men had not done. Till today, she is highly respected. And I remember Anza Muto. I think she also served as a chairman of a local government. These are women that stood out. They had opportunity and they did their best. Are there others?
The Rebecca Pezans, the
Rebecca
Margaret
Pezan,
Chance, and
and all that. She served
Elizabeth Davies.
yes.
who again?
Elizabeth Davies and many others.
Elizabeth Viase of blessed memory. You know, that one was just more than a woman. You know, so women where they had opportunity, they did well. In the contemporary society, you still have few women who have had opportunity to serve in the political arena, and I don't think any has been what will I say? I don't think they have failed in what they have been asked to do. Yeah. So women, if given the opportunity, they will do well.
You are one of such women.
Well, I think so.
we forgot to mention her.
Okay, she has maybe well,
I
women
thought you were thinking only of the political arena.
Oh,
Otherwise,
yes,
Professor Charity Anga,
Yeah.
that's in the
the
academia.
university just took a different turn during her term. She brought, TED Fund literally moved to Benue State University because of her. And TED Fund will not move to any project unless the previous one is done. And that's what she did. So much was done during her time. Others are building on it, as we can see. So.
And of course, it's a lot of credit to
And
Benue
right
that
now,
we have produced 2 female vice chancellors, because it is some credit. Don't you think
Sure,
so,
it
Vice
is.
Chancellor? Because
right now, there's Dr. Grace Adaba at Subeb.
Yeah.
You need to go there.
Professor
Even
Jura.
physical appearance of the place is taking a new shape. I was with her shortly and she said, I don't want to do things for people who come to lobby. Let people who have nobody but qualify have the opportunity. And that's what she's doing. And the people are excited and working and supporting her. So I think women have the capacity to do well. Otherwise, God would not have given man woman.
oh wow, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello,
Hello, good morning, sir.
morning.
Peter Killer, I'm calling you from IDB Square here in Makodi, Benue State.
Okay, Peter, thank you for joining us. Make
And
your
I want to
submission very
appreciate your guest.
brief. Thank
You
you.
know, they are celebrating women. My advice to women is for them to emulate Mary, the mother of our Savior Jesus Christ. She was full of humility, obedience, forgiveness, love, fortitude. He had everything in his own and then fear God. He always said that I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let it be done to me according to God's will. So if women, all women, emulate Mary, they will start to discipline their children at home. They will teach them what is right so that when these children grow up, our society will be better, will be a better place. They always struggle for affirmative. You always hear about affirmative women. If women are not transformed to the image of Christ, you like put them there, you see nothing will work. They will still behave like men. But honestly, if women shun jealousy, gossip, hate another, and women support women, and they are there, I'm telling you, men will ever regret it because the women will shame men.
It's
but
not,
once they are
it's not for men to regret.
Exactly. I'm saying the truth.
Okay.
So you see, even in the church, they call women the pillars of the church, and it's very true. There's just no way men will beat women, even in the church. But the problem they have, they don't love each other. The issue of pride and arrogance. If they unite together, if women unite together, I'm telling you, they will take up leadership from men.
All right.
And they will do much better.
Thank you.
So they should love God, all their heart, they should love one another, and also follow the will of God by being humble.
All right.
And selfless.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Peter. We appreciate your submission. Thank you very much. Let's take some messages and then we'll come back. This one says, good morning to you and the guests. The significance of International Women's Day lies in its ability to bring attention to issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence and abuse against women. It provides a platform for collective action and collaboration in advocating for women's rights and empowerment. All in all, this day is a reminder that gender parity is still far from being achieved, with the World Economic Forum estimating that it will take over a century for gender equality to be attained. International Women's Day is not just a day to celebrate the achievements of women, it's also a call to action for gender equality, thereby encouraging reflection, advocacy, and action to continue breaking down barriers for women and girls around the globe. As we celebrate the strength and resilience of women around the world, may we continue to uplift, empower, and support each other. Happy International Women's Day. Wishing a day filled with love, joy, and recognition to every strong woman who continue to inspire, lead, and make a difference. You are truly remarkable. From Cole Ephraim, Welfare Quarters in Makudi. Thank you, Cole, for that elaborate message celebrating the women. Another one here says, good morning. It is God who made everything in his own pleasure. He made man in his image, likeness, and glory. He made man as head over woman. Anyone that want to change that, change what God has made is working against God. No God-fearing woman will seek to be equal with a man. I am Evangelist Oliver Uli from Ajusa Extension. No. Evangelist, that is not entirely true. It's not about changing what God has made, and that is not our focus. But all the same, we appreciate your thoughts. You are entitled to your opinion. Dr. Tete, I am with you now. Looking at the situation of Benue, women's situation, let's look at the vulnerable condition of the internally displaced persons. When you go to the IDP camps, women are largely dominant in the camps. Could you speak to us about the vulnerability of the women folk with regards to the security situation in Benue State?
Okay, that's quite for me. It's quite heartbreaking each time I need to talk about the vulnerability of women among us, either in the host community or the IDP camp, as the case may be. First, most of them are widows and are widowed as a result of the crisis. And some would saw their husband, killed in front of them or any loved one. So that leaves them traumatized and have issues around their mental health. We also have same women who are now head of households, either because their husbands were killed or that the husbands no longer stay with them in the camp, have because of their dignity as men. They leave them in the camps, and then they are the caregivers for children. And in case they were also displaced with an aged parent or a family member, you will notice that they automatically become caregivers. You see these women as caregivers. They are the ones looking out for food to feed both themselves, their children, and the aged that they are looking after, and as a result become more vulnerable, which is why for some we have issues of sex for food. They'll need to pay that price so that there's food on the table. Some have faced a lot of gender-based violence, issues of rape. Some because they need to even go to the host community and get firewood just to cook for their children. You notice in the course of doing that, they are raped, you know. You have some of them giving out their 12, 13, 14-year-old girl children as a means of survival. They want their girl child to marry. By doing that, the burden is less on them, and then at the end of the day, they, it takes off. It's a way of survival for them. So, the list is long when you talk about vulnerability, issues of vulnerability. And then, of course, like I said, there have been little or no psychosocial support. So most of them are still living through, are still traumatized by what they had went through as a result of the displacement. I know of a particular case of a woman who saw her husband, macheted in front of her. And she would stay in one of the camps for over 3 months without uttering a word to anybody. Till one of those days, we took the cultural dance as part of psychosocial support. We're just singing and dancing just to make everybody happy. And for the first time, this woman had a smile and started dancing. And that was the first time she would even let people know what she went through. We have cases where the herders will machete and open pregnant women. We've seen pictures like that. And they had loved ones seeing what happened. So the camps is populated with hugely women who are very, very vulnerable and had gone through traumatic incidents in their life there. And today is one of those days we should celebrate such women who have gone through the thicks and thin and are still alive. Most of them not just for themselves, but for the children they are, taking care of in the IDP camps.
Okay, Barisaso, our time is really up, but I will request you to speak to us, given the situation. What kind of solutions, from the legal point of view, can be evolved to holistically address the challenges facing women with regards to legislations, if you would like? Very briefly.
Thank you very much for this question. There is a problem on ground. Why we have laws, so many laws, which criminalizes certain harmful practices against women. Most of those laws are not obeyed, are not complied with, and that is the major challenge that we have. We have, in Benue State, we have domesticated the violence against women prohibition law, but women still face domestic violence on a daily basis. So when we talk about legislation, well, the laws are there. I think my focus should be on the willpower.
Yes.
The willpower of the government to enforce those legislations that are in place. We're talking about 35% affirmative action against women. Anywhere you see the president, all these top government functionaries, they will keep romancing that question. But in practice, are there any practical steps taken to make it come to fruition? These are the real issues. So but as a way forward, there's need for legislative intervention. The legislature should come up with a particular, certain specific legislation or enactment to open up the political space for women. That is the one that concerns me most, because like most of those harmful practices against women, we have penal laws, sanctions for people that perpetrate them, but opening up a political space, it has to be a deliberate act. We need to take action so that even if the government is not willing, because has not been reduced into a law, there must be some form of compliance.
Okay.
And the women will be encouraged to step up their game too.
Okay. Prof, I am with you. And this will be your parting words in 60 seconds, please, because we really must have to go now.
Okay. Thank you very much, producer. From the audience, few people have emphasized the need to let God take control of our lives. And I think that is the solution. The Bible says that an excellent wife is a crown of honor to her husband. And if this is to hold, it means that the woman must allow God, her creator, to have the final say in her life so that she can have that impact. She can produce that helpmeet that God intended her to be. So without God in your life, it is very difficult to attain that which he wants you to do. And women, I like to say that you are very important in the scheme of things in society and with God. You are very important. And if you know that you are important, you should please hold yourself in integrity. I like to celebrate Totiev's wife, who is putting a summit together to look at rebuilding the integrity of the woman, because this is very necessary, for us to make the impact that will cause us to be celebrated. We must get back, pick up the things that we have left undone and do them, and be examples to our daughters. There are many women who are mothers who are not good examples to their daughters, and so they cannot even say no to their daughters. So women, we are celebrated, but we must live up to this celebration. Let God take full control of our lives so we can do that which he created us to do.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
That would be a fine place for us to leave it on today's edition of Perspectives. I apologize, please. We really must have to go now. Our time is up. Today is International Women's Day, and we focused on it on today's edition of the program. We must appreciate very sincerely our discussants who led us. Professor Nancy Agbe is a former Vice Chancellor of the University of Nkara in Boko. She joined us on the program. Thank you very much, Prof, for your time with us. I'm also grateful to the National Legal Advisor of the Association of Nigerian Authors. He is a he for she champion, Barrister Mike Aso. Thank you very much, the Leonard Aso, for your time.
Thank you very much.
The Executive Director, Community Links and Human Empowerment Initiative, the civil society personality, one of our champions in the civil society space, doing quite wonderful, Dr. Helen Tete. We celebrate you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Dear listener, this is where we leave it on today's edition of Perspectives. I'll come your way again next week, Monday, with another edition of the program. Thank you very much for your listenership. Your contributions through phone calls and messages made the program worthwhile. My name is Nathaniel Nongo. Have yourself a great weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Kindly stay tuned to Agate Radio. And happy International Women's Day to the women out there and everyone who is a product of a woman in the society. Goodbye and have yourself a great day.